Alexa, to our show. This is a Talking Who. It's basically everything Doctor Who.
Lovely.
Of course, it's Torchwood is.
And so therefore, we're the extension.
Was born
yes.
from Doctor Who. So welcome to London. How is this your first trip to the UK?
It is. I studied abroad in college, so I had a stopover of one day, but I was so jet lagged that I couldn't experience it. So this trip we came early. I brought the whole family, and we got to visit your lovely, lovely country. It's been fun.
So you're spending a few more extra days?
We've done about 9 days so far, so we're heading home tomorrow,
Wow,
unfortunately. Okay. The event today is the cherry on top. It's the top off of the trip.
So if your family come here to this event as well?
They did. My husband's actually here. He's signing as well. He did Knight Rider, so there's a big following for Knight Rider in the UK. Yeah. So he's here, and then I brought my mom, and we have a 1-year-old daughter together, so we brought her as well.
How this event is known for its costumes, I think, more than any other event.
Absolutely.
What did you think of all this?
I had seen a small taste of it. We have a Comic-Con San Diego in the States, and they're starting that, and it's there, but not to this level, because the cosplay is just, it's mind-blowing. It's costumes I've never seen before, and such an artistic level. It's really a talent. My mom said my daughter sat and just stared and watched all of them, and that it was like a live puppet show for her.
So going to Torchwood, had you heard of Torchwood when the script came to you?
I did. I absolutely did. My husband is a fan of the show, so it came around, and he actually saw the appointment before I did, and it was like, you have to do this show. So we worked on it, and the way we do it in the States is you audition, you fight for your roles, you go in, and the person that's the best for the job gets the job. And I'm fortunate that they saw Esther in me, and that I was the person that was able to breathe life into her.
So was it a traditional audition process?
It was, very much so. I would say very fast-paced, though. Sometimes they can go on, and you're called back, and you do multiple auditions. This one was, I went in, I didn't think anything of it, I did my work, I left, and then I got a call about a week, a few days later, that said they're very interested in this, and they're sending your tape to the UK. And okay. And the next thing you know, they call and said, okay, can you be on set in 2 weeks? So it's fun the way our world works.
It's been joked, obviously, that there's quite a high body count, and you never know when someone's going to die. When the script arrives for every episode, are you always flicking through the end first before reading it?
You have an idea. You have hit it on the head, because when I started, it was kind of, okay, I'm joining Torchwood, so there's a strong possibility that character will probably get killed. But when that time comes, we always know that they sat down and talked to me, and it wasn't a personal, like, oh, we're not getting along, this isn't working. It was a love fest. We all get along wonderfully, as we did throughout filming, and the bottom line is they just wanted to make the audience feel something, and Esther was a beloved character of the new team. So and they reiterated that today, a lot of the fans on the floor, that they were just rocked. And that's what Russell wants to do. That's what he aims to do. He knows how to write great television, and Esther just played into that.
Well, she's a great character. She's the CIA analyst. Mm-hmm. But then she has this one weakness, which I think had a lot of fans screaming at the TV, is that when it came to her sister, all her training just seemed to go out of the window.
I know, and I said the same. I know. I think we all have that vulnerable point, and it's kind of some people do it with love. Hers happened to be with family. You see your friends that's dating someone, you're like, why are you dating that person? They're terrible. And I just think that she just pushed everything aside just because her heart was so full, and her sister was just in such need. And I think ultimately she was thinking of the children. So I know there was a few missteps. I know when she's driving away, even I was like, no, how could you be this stupid? But everything's for a reason. It kept the story moving, and I think she learned a lot along the way. Sweet Esther was out of her element, to say the least, at the first half of the show, and then I really think she found her stride and figured out who she was towards the end.
And how much of the story were you aware of, or were you just literally learning the story as a new script arrived?
Learning it as we went. I'm sure John and Eve were probably privy to some information we weren't. But even then, they said, oh, we haven't read the next script, we haven't read the next. I had a meeting with Russell and Julie and Barrett, our director of episode 1, and it was just okay, here's, because they weren't releasing it, here's kind of, so you know an idea where we need Esther to go, just so I could kind of let it start marinating in my mind and feeling where I needed to take her. So they really wanted an innocence, a vulnerability at the beginning, so she had that journey, both a literal journey that she took and an emotional, physical growing up journey. So they would share pieces like, okay, so this part, this episode, if I was having a question on where do you want this to go, they would kind of shape it and guide me. But no, we would get scripts and we'd be filming within the week probably.
So was people putting bets on where actually the story
where it was going to go?
Yeah.
Yes, the bet was who's going to die, and I knew in advance that Esther was saying goodbye long before any of the crew and casted. So I think just Eve and John and myself knew, and I didn't even say anything to them, and they didn't say anything to me because we didn't know who knew what. And then when it came out, it was, it's shocking, but I guess my character's in good company. Look at the past.
And when you got cast, did you go and pick up some DVDs?
I did. We did a marathon. My husband had already watched, and so we sat down and snuggled and watched what we could. And I didn't overthink it as far as, okay, I need it to be, because Torchwood, each season is its whole, you don't almost have to know what happened.
No,
and
sure.
Especially with Esther, at first I really was getting in and breaking it down because I wanted to know, one, the rhythm of the show and the feel of the show, because here I am, a new person jumping on this fast-moving train, and they've been mastering these characters for 4 years, and then here we are joining it. So last thing I wanted to do was drag down this fantastic, fast-paced moving show. So I wanted to make sure I matched them on rhythms and all of that. But I tried not to dissect the past too much, because I think if anyone didn't need to know, it was Esther, because one of the most interesting parts for me to play was her discovery along the way. So I didn't want her to know too much, like, okay, 4, 5, 6, or you're saying things, or Captain Jack. I wanted it to be fresh to her when I'm actually flipping through the file, discovering it, not.
Of course.
So I tried to make this balance of doing my homework without being too crazy.
I mean, John Barrowman is quite a superstar in the UK. As an American actor, he came to the UK and he's made it big before actually making it in the US. Has it inspired you to perhaps, look abroad now for
I
work?
said that. I said, Eve, so do you think I should come move out to the UK? Do you need some American actors out there? Or, it's tempting. We fell in love with your city this week. I could see myself living here, and if it was the right role or the right opportunity, I wouldn't hesitate for a second to move my family here for a few years. But John has made just such an amazing career, and he is a rock star. The things people say, the reaction I've seen him get, and it's rightly deserved, because he's one of the most charismatic human beings that I've ever met. He has that quality that as Americans we look for, like in a president. They're always the charisma, and he has that. And what's so interesting, it's male, female, young, old. You love John Barrowman, and that's the end of the line. My mom fell in love with him. My husband's in love with him, and every friend I introduce, like, that John. And I feel the same way. I'm like, you're so handsome. I'm like, can Esther and John have a scene together? Can they fall in love?
There are a lot of women out there who just refuse to believe he's gay.
I know, that's what everyone says. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna have to bring him my way. No, he's lovely, and Eve and I have just a friendship of two sisters. I just love everything about her. We're both moms, and I think that's a connection we have. And I know she enjoyed having a friend for Gwen, that it's not just her in the boys' world, that she had a little confidant, and it was nice. So I think that was hard for her on that the professional level, saying goodbye to another friend. But it's not goodbye off screen. We see each other, and we'll continue our friendship, I'm sure.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.